53, but it was against Canada. That game, I'm almost sure, prepared them for today. Who is Mexico as a team? This is a very aggressive team. They move the ball very well. They have a few good shooters. The big players have the long shot as well. And, you know, what they lack in size, they do it playing hard for 40 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely showed a lot of heart. People will look at the score against Canada and think that, you know what, they weren't in the game, but they definitely brought the effort from minute 1 all the way to the final buzzer, and that's something they can carry over in this game. That should be a must-win situation for them. Dominican Republic on the other side. They're playing their first game. They had the luxury of sitting back and watching everybody else play yesterday. They were resting at the hotel. You see them fired up, ready to go here. What do you know about the Dominican Republic team?
Well, this is the first game, as you said. This is a veteran team. It has 6 players over 30 years old. They've been together for a while. They are led by Monsac, the 38-year-old veteran that's been in this team for more than 10 years. They have strength in the post. Their guards are pretty good as well, but most of their points will come from the paint area.
There you see Monsac right there introducing herself to the crowd on hand. You say she's 38. She does not look 38 at all. Whatever she's using to keep looking so young, I want to use it for myself. Dominican Republic playing their first game against Mexico. Will break now for the national anthems from these two great nations.
Ponemos todos de pie para honrar los himnos nacionales de México. De la República Dominicana.
Here for the first time, Dominican national anthem. Second time this tournament. The anthem from Mexico. Two teams will greet each other and it'll give us a chance to greet the referees. Bonner, Silva, Mejia. those are the three officials in charge of keeping this game in check. Now time to talk about these two teams. Here we go with Mexico up first. There is the roster led by Rafael.
We had the opportunity to see this team yesterday. Jacqueline Luna, their center. She can shoot. She scored 2 3-pointers, but she can also score, especially in the paint, in the offensive rebounding. Starting five: Jacqueline Luna, Gladys Avila, Paola Estrada, Carolina Romo, y Jasmine Valenzuela. Estrada is the best shooter. With time and space, she can be very effective. On the other hand, Gladys Avila, she's good. She can get better in her shooting percentage, but she can shoot the ball, and it's a worry for Dominican Republic.
Here's Dominican Republic led by Teresa Duran. She has her squad ready to go. Again, they had the opportunity to sit back and watch yesterday, scout every team, and we'll take a look at the starting five for Dominican Republic.
Yuladi Zapata, Johanna Morton, Jennifer Estrella, Dioseris Reynoso, y Suheiri Monsac. In the post, they depend on Monsac. As I said, what she lacks in height, she brings in toughness. She's a very tough player. Johanna Morton is the go-to offensive player. She have a lot of slyness. She's very smart playing. And also, Charnelis Frias could be a factor this morning.
As you mentioned off the top, they have a couple players in their 30s. A lot of these players have played together for quite some time. Flora Jones, the youngest player on the team at 21 years old. Reynoso is 23. She's a starter on this team and was one of the vocal players on the team during the photo shoot. She was getting everybody in order, showing that leadership quality. And to have that as a youngster amongst a team that's already been put together for so many years is a good sign. Head coach from Mexico, Rafael Canceles.
There's been only 2 competitions with this Mexico team, so it's a new philosophy.
And on the other side, Teresa Duran. Let's listen into her huddle ahead of her first game here in Puerto Rico.
Vamos, vamos. A ver, chequen ahí, por favor, chequen ahí. Chequen ahí, hay una playera gris que se quedó ahí. Chequen, por favor. Sigan, sigan. Bueno, todos estos para comenzar, los 5 que inician por el equipo de México. Con la número 5, capitana del equipo, Jacqueline Luna.
It's a little tough to hear both huddles, but what do you expect out of Mexico after seeing them play yesterday? Obviously a tough matchup where size advantage was so much in favor of Canada. They had a tough time matching up with Canada's size. They'll have a better time matching up with the Dominican Republic size. They can body up a little bit better there. Do you expect them to take it inside a little bit more than they did yesterday?
They probably would do that. Last time Dominican Republic and Mexico played together against each other, it was a Centro Basket here in 2018. And it was a very, very close game. It ended 85-81. And Avila from Mexico, the shooting guard, was the best for them with 16 points and 8 assists and 5 rebounds. She had a rounded game. But Monsac was the better from Dominican Republic, which answers your question. Is Dominican Republic, I think Dominican Republic will play more in the paint than Mexico will. Mexico will try to run this team because knowing that this is a veteran team that maybe their rotations are not going to be that long. So I expect a very close game. These 2 teams knows each other very well.
They'll introduce themselves here at center court as we get set for game 1 of 4 today. Amy Bonner tosses it up, and we're underway here. Match day 2, game 1. Mexico taking on the Dominican Republic. Mexico in the road black, Dominican Republic in the home white. Natalia Melendez, Carlin Gay on hand. First shot by Venezuela, who had a nice game yesterday. Rims out. And that's how the first possession ends for Mexico. Mexico played a lot of zone against Canada yesterday.
They did.
They're back in that 2-3 zone as well today. Estrella. That shot's a 2, and it's short. Castro. Avila, you mentioned she can flat out shoot. She's looking to pass cross court inside to Venezuela. It was bobbled around, and Venezuela was able to pick it up and clean up the mess for the first 2 of the game.
Dangerous pass, but he ended up with the basket, which is the most important thing.
Reynoso. Reynoso now almost lost control of it, then found herself open for 2. It's in and out. Castro pulls down the rebound. Estrella, Venezuela, got poked out of her hands. And Morton's ahead of everybody. Morton driving on. Luna Castro is blocked inside. Last touch, they say, by Mexico. Stay on this side with 15 on the shot clock.
Great defense by Luna.
Here you see the replay of that great deep. Estrella takes the inbound. Reynoso, her floater is not there. Battle for it on the ground. They say jump ball. Possession arrow is pointing this way, which means it will stay on this side. 14 on the shot clock for the Dominican Republic. Something we saw yesterday, each game, took a while for teams to get it going on the offensive end. Zapata knocks down the jump shot there. Castro. Dominican Republic in a 3-2 zone. Romo. Castro. Good hands there by Estrella. Stay on this side. 4 on the shot clock for Mexico. This might be the first time Mexico's seen a 2-3 zone.
I was going to say
or
that.
3-2, sorry, in this tournament, as we see Zapata knock down that shot.
They're having a hard time figuring out this zone that Mexico has presented.
Venezuela 4 to shoot. She tosses it up. It's rim. Reynoso skying over everybody to pull that one down. Here's Morton back the other way. Zapata hit it 2. Now tries a 3. No good. Reynoso says last touch by Mexico. It is last touch by Mexico. It will stay on this end.
Reynoso's been very aggressive on the boards. She's a really tall player. She touches every ball.
Yeah, she's had a hand on almost every rebound opportunity. Never credited for 1 rebound right now, but she's definitely got a ricochet on quite a few occasions. There she is in the middle again. Couldn't get her hands on that one, and Castro pulls it down. Estrella. Romo thought about the 3, now puts it on the deck. Reynoso's there good defensively to get the turnover. Morton crossing over, floats it up, can't get it to go. One sack with the offensive board. And she'll go to the line. Hard work paying off for her.
That's where she makes most of her points. She'll follow the offensive rebound. Very strong player.
There you see her hard work paying off on the replay.
4 Mexican players around her. Still, she was able to catch that rebound.
Her first free throw is no good.
Teresa Duran. She is the best player the Dominican Republic ever had in history. Amazing. She played 12 years professional. She was invited to the WNBA in the beginnings of the WNBA, but she decided to play in Europe better. But it was an amazing player.
Talked to me about her off the air yesterday and said the exact same thing. And said had the WNBA been a little bit more prestigious at the time, it was such a new league, people really didn't understand and know about it. She probably would have starred in the WNBA.
She was telling me that at that time, in order for you to play in the WNBA, you had to pay your own ticket and go for a tryout. They invited you, but you had to pay for everything. So she said, I couldn't. I didn't have the money.
Now she's trying to lead the next generation of Dominican Republic superstars on the floor as a head coach. Jump ball there. The defense, Mexico, they caused a turnover.
She was also the first woman to coach men in her, in DR, a professional team. So she's huge.
She's a big star
It's
indeed.
really an honor to have her here.
No question about it. And for her to have the same unit, as you said. A lot of these players have played together for a very long time. Is a credit to not only her, but teams that most like to play for her, giving up a lot of their free time. Morton, Estrella wasn't looking for the pass, but was finally able to get it. She was looking for that pass now. Reynoso. Zapata, jab step, driving inside. The ball was poked out of her hands, and Castro ends up with it. Gives it away to Reynoso. Morton. Estrella for three. No good. It's tapped out. It was last touched by Mexico. It'll stay here with 14 on the shot clock for the Dominican Republic.
And right now, the tempo of the game, it's DR's tempo. Mexico is having a difficult time in both ends.
Evangelista checks in, number 7 in white. She replaces Zapata. And Monsac has a little bit of blood on her elbow. That's the reason for the timeout. You see it there on your screen. So she'll get that cleaned up. And a sub comes in for her while she's doing that. Flor Jones, the youngest player on the team, checks out for the oldest player.
She plays for Club Lázaro in her town.
Jones looking for Reynoso. And Reynoso couldn't save it there. And a turnover. It's already the 4th turnover for the Dominican Republic.
That's a lot.
Venezuela. Skip pass. Venezuela is open for 3. Not there. Reynoso vacuums in the rebound. Morton on the other end. Good bounce pass to Jones. She can't get the finish. It'll stay on this side as Venezuela had that squirt out of her hand.
Basketball is wonderful. You would think at the beginning of the game that it was going to be Mexico running Dominican Republic, and it's Dominican Republic who's running Mexico on the fast break, making them play fast.
Beltran checks in. You briefly saw the shooting percentages for both teams. Only 10% for the Dominican Republic. That's right on par with the way most teams have started here in San Juan. The nerves, I don't know what it is. It's just the beginning of the tournament, playing in a different arena that you're used to. But teams playing their first quarter here have struggled from the field.
They have. And both teams are playing zone. And the way that you make a team take that zone out and start playing man-to-man is if you start shooting well from the outside. Start making threes and you make them go woman to woman.
Castro, she's capable of knocking down a couple threes when she gets open. Right now, handling the rock. Romo thought about it. Now she'll drive. Reynoso comes up with the swat. Evangelista. Kick out. Good ball movement. Zapata for 3. Left it short. And Venezuela comes out with the rebound. Here's Beltran the other way. Avila. Beltran. Venezuela. And Castro. Nice up fake, and the ball movement is just about to say it was good ball move, but Luna Castro was not ready for that pass.
Exactly. They're making the defense shift, but it was not a good pass. But that they need to keep doing that. They need to keep attacking the gaps, not just staying in the perimeter.
That's something that they didn't do against Canada too much. They made life easy for Canada defensively. Morton. Zapata inside. Reynoso faces up. She gets double teamed. Zapata can't save that pass and it goes out of bounds. Still 3-2 to score in favor of the Dominican Republic. 4:14 to play here in the first quarter.
Neither team have figured out how to work on that zone.
And that leads to a timeout. 1-point game here in the first quarter. Timeout on the floor. We'll get an opportunity to listen into the huddle for Team Mexico.
Tenemos el negro, la formación de negro que tenemos, ¿sí? Pero le llamamos verde. La bola y no están dando espacio a la jugadora. Y cada que cuando tú tiros cómodo, tú estabas cómoda, cógelo, tírala. El que tira, el que mete.
Y paciencia, que eso va a caer. Es decisión. Cuando usted vaya para allá, tome decisión. Vamos. Si va a tirar, si va a seguir, es con determinación y decisión.
Hey.
Vamos, la defensa va bien.
Tenemos un buen cuadro, rebote.
Ella va, al lado de las 5.
Te ve bien, Gio, te ve bien. Vamos, Julio.
Briefly heard the timeout for Team Mexico. What was said in that huddle?
Mexico, what the Mexicans are saying is that we need to attack the gaps and pass the ball and do it fast. On the other hand, the Dominican Republic is talking about we need to shoot the ball. Don't hesitate. If you don't shoot, we're not going to score. Just shoot it. I'm not going to sit you for that. Do so.
Let's see if those instructions are taken now to the floor. Inbound for Mexico. Haven't scored in quite some time. Haven't really figured out this zone. Let's see if that changes. Castro. Beltran. Penetrating. She's got to poke away, but she was able to get it back. Behind the back pass. Avila fake pass and shot. Off the glass, no good. And the Dominican Republic will go the other way with Morton on the ball. Morton. Floater in the lane. Lost her headband. Gets the ball, though. And she traveled.
She did exactly what the coach told her to do. Shoot the ball.
Aggressive play there from Morton. And she's a little frustrated with the lack of scoring right now. Both teams struggling from the field.
Really bad.
Avila. Luna Castro for 3. That's short. And Reynoso pulls down the rebound. Tied out to Morton. Job of Mexico getting back in transition to prevent a fast break opportunity. Evangelista, top of the key. Floater in the lane, left it short. It was looking for her own rebound. It squirts out all the way to Morton. Fresh 14 for the DR. Good ball movement that time. Evangelista from the corner. Can't get that one. It's tapped out by Reynoso. Will go the other way. Sack will come back into the game after taking care of that cut on her elbow. Jones giving good minutes there in her absence. Well, the ball movement's there. They're getting good shots.
It's just not going in.
Here's Beltran. Luna Castro, she got hacked and she'll go to the line. Hey, one way to see the ball go to the basket, get to the foul line.
And they are going to be able to do that if they keep flashing in the middle of the zone. They can just be standing. You got to start cutting and doing different things. Mexico is going to press.
Trapping press, the first time we've seen that in this game from them. Now they'll fall back into that 2-3 zone. Morton. Sack, good cut by Morton. Inside amongst the trees, she can't get it to go over top of Luna Castro. That's great defense by Luna Castro, just using her size to prevent the shot. Romo. Venezuela. On the drive. Beltran. Cross-court pass, Luna Castro now. Pulls up for 2. Can't get it to go. Zapata pulls down the rebound. Tough pass. Morton gets fouled by Beltran. Replay and a little collision there. Who said basketball is a non-contact sport? Hernandez, who just checked into the game, launches a three. Can't get it to go. Here's Mexico the other way with Beltran. And Castro. Venezuela alone for three. Off the mark. And Evangelista pulls down the rebound. Still 4-3 in favor of Mexico. Minute 35 to play in the first quarter. Evangelista driving. Nice pass inside. Oh, what a block. Taylor rejecting that one. Hernandez for three. Finally, we see a ball go through the hoop for the Dominican Republic.
It's their first three-pointer in 6.
There you see the shooting percentages on your screen. Those aren't pretty, but they probably won't stay like that all game.
No, that's the good news. It's impossible for them to stay like that.
Contact there between Venezuela and Reynoso. Reynoso and Taylor.
Be smart. Everybody all right?
And good job there by Amy Bonner, making sure that nothing extra happens. A lot of contact, but that's just basketball, isn't it?
It is basketball.
You see the last Hernandez three. Jasmine Venezuela knocks down the first free throw. She played a great game against Canada yesterday, really aggressive despite the scoreline. Both free throws. 6-6 your score. Dominican Republic playing their first game here at the FIBA AmeriCup. Mexico playing their second after taking a loss on opening day to Canada. Zapata just saved it before it went over the timeline. Jones, one too many passes and good hands there by Venezuela to come away with the steal. Beltran will run a set as we tick down with 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Taylor waiting to set the screen for her. Now Taylor receives a pass, puts it on the deck on the drive. Good move by Taylor.
More of that.
Evangelista, 5 to shoot. Zapata for 3. Got it! And that's how we'll end the first quarter. Well, both teams struggling from the field, but they started to pick it up in the last 2 minutes of the first. 9-8, Dominican Republic in front over Mexico. A reminder, you can follow at FIBA on all social media platforms as we take a look at the first quarter statistics. Hashtag AmeriCup Women to get into conversation on social media. Those are not pretty, to say the least. But they started to pick up later on in the first quarter. We'll take a look at some highlights here shortly. What have you seen from both teams? There's a little bit of nerves on both sides.
The last 50 seconds was the best that we've seen for both teams. In the case of Dominican Republic, they're moving the ball well. They're just not making those shots. And we talk about Mexico. Mexico is struggling a little bit. How to find, their identity against this Dominican Republic. So Jacqueline Luna hasn't scored. She's not in the game. She tried twice, but she's not been lucky enough. They need a second voice. Valenzuela has 4 of the 8 points that Mexico have right now. So This, as you said, I don't think this is exactly what's going to happen in the second quarter. You know, the percentage are way, way too low. Those are the good news. I don't think this is going to happen in this second quarter.
Jasmine Venezuela had 9 points yesterday against Canada. That good drive there by Taylor was probably the only basket that was one-on-one basket where they were able to kind of penetrate that zone for the first time. As you said, they have had struggle against it.
What Mexico tried to do at the last 2 minutes of the game was starting, you know, they went to a press. I think they did that because they want to change they want to fast pace the game. Do something, you know, start running, do something different.
Try to create some turnovers and see if they can get some quick offense.
Because they're supposed to be a faster team than DR, and right now they look slower than them.
Beltran. She tried to penetrate between 3 jerseys and lost the ball. Zapata the other way. To the corner. Ramirez for 3. No good. Venezuela pulls down another rebound. There's Venezuela. Avila has been quiet to start. Pass inside. Ramos shows it. 4 to shoot for Beltran. And a foul by Caceres. There's only 2 seconds on the shot clock, so Mexico bailed out there. And they'll get 14 back on the clock to work their offense. Referees making sure that Mexico's tucked in their jerseys. We're all set to go now. Luna will trigger this offensive play. Avila got behind the D. The pass was off the mark.
The eye contact was there.
Yeah, they saw it. They were winking at each other.
Yes.
Estrada back into the game for Avila. Hernandez. Morton. Zapata. Give inside. Morton with the cut. She is fouled and will go to the line.
Give and go.
All day yesterday you talked about when you played against a zone offense, you have to at least give it inside once to force the defense to collapse. You saw it right there. Caceres with a good pass.
It's always hard when a team plays you zone and you don't have a player that is very dominant play against the basket in the post. It's very hard because you don't have that offense. You don't, if you will have a post player that is very dominant, then you have to double in the space, started to create. But in this case, we have big players that are more open players. They like to play in line.
Venezuela launches a 3, no good. Luna Castro pulls down the rebound. Beltran. Good crossover, but she's stripped by Hernandez. Zapata running with her. Hernandez did a good job to avoid the contact and lays it up and in. Hernandez has come off the bench with 5 points.
She's changing everything.
Castro. Estrada fall away, left it short. Caceres pulls down the rebound. And Sack running point guard. Here's Morton. Cross-court pass, Zapata. Sack puts it on the deck. And Morton didn't move with the pass, and it goes out of bounds.
Confusion there.
Evangelista
She came for...
checks back into the game, and Reynoso also back into the game for the Dominican Republic.
Hernandez was doing very good. She's at the bench because I think she's hurt.
Maybe cramping up.
Maybe.
First game here.
Yes.
It is hot. Walked outside here this morning and immediately started to sweat.
100 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Zapata with the steal and the layup, and that leads to a timeout for Mexico. Well, after starting slowly, the Dominican Republic are now starting to flex their muscle offensively. 7:36 to play here in the second quarter.
el juego ofensivamente y jueguen con la formación de cowboy. Cuando pasan el balón, que ella viene aquí, pasan el balón para acá, hagan lo reversible, no lo metan para acá, métanlo para acá, para que la que hace pantalla aquí venga y postee. Tenemos un
Salió, ya Johanna quedó ahí, no pasa nada. Usted aquí, usted aquí, usted aquí. Ahora, ellas están subiendo aquí. Estas dos jugadoras, ellas están poniendo dos jugadoras aquí.
Ahora están hacia arriba.
Está bien, dos jugadoras aquí.
Ajá.
Y desde que la bola se va, esa se mete. Tiene que seguir su jugadora. Y sellar.
¿Cómo vamos a defender el bloqueo? Cerrado, abierto, dobletín.
Está abierto, está abierto, está abierto.
As we see the last couple of minutes, a great highlight package from Hernandez, who's coming off the bench and provided a spark. Finally, Dominican Republic getting out on the open floor, getting some easy looks. What was said in their huddle just now.
Well, the Dominican Republic coach is saying just to follow the post player, that it's cutting from the opposite side in the zone, just to be aware of that that's going to happen more often. And the Mexico coach is asking their players to play slower, to reverse the ball.
Let's see if that message is sent and received on the floor. As we said, they really have struggled with this 3-2 zone. And Dominican Republic almost extending it to half. Estrada. Castro, mid-range.
They close the opposite player.
Estrada now driving in. Kick ball there by Reynoso, getting her hands, feet, doesn't matter. She wanted to get something to it. 14 back on the shot clock. But you noticed that it was a good job by them on the back end of that zone to stop that cut.
They know Mexico is not hitting the long shot, so their zone is very close. Help.
Estrada, Romo. Prado for three, no good. And Reynoso comes down with the board. Here comes the DR the other way. Caceres, and she traveled. That's good defense there by Venezuela to get her hand on that ball. Prevent the shot attempt. It's our first chance to see Prado on the floor for Mexico. There she is on the ball, number 4 in black. Venezuela. Castro, they want to go inside to Romo. 6 on the clock, a foul there by Caceres. And that will put Luna Castro to the line for 2 shots.
I think she can be more aggressive in offense because she have done that twice, and twice she received a foul. Stop about, sometimes you just got to stop playing organized a little bit and start playing like street ball. I don't know how to say this, but just to change the rhythm of the game. And for you to get in the rhythm of the game, you have to start shooting, attacking, doing things, because nothing is going on right now anyway.
Yeah, she's the best player on the team. Sometimes you just got to put the team on your back and say, you know what?
Exactly.
Let's go.
And if somebody have a green light for that, it's her.
Knocks down both free throws. All her points have come at the free throw line. If she could be a little bit more aggressive, maybe she might get more trips for a charity strike. Morton. Evangelista for 3. That's off. And Prado pulls it down. Luna Castro. Estrada. Venezuela spinning in the lane. Tried to force it up over Reynoso. Can't get it to go. Morton will come back the other way. To the corner. Zapata for 2. In and out. The rebound there for Morton. Back to Zapata. Morton on the penetration, driving inside. Can't get it to go. And Estrada pulls down the rebound. Ball is loose. Venezuela picks it up. Prado the other way. Can't get the layup. Gets her own. Misses it twice. Right on the doorstep. That kind of night for both sides. Here's Morton. Cross-court pass. Zapata from the corner. Indeed. Well, she's the only one able to hit right now. 10 points and counting for her.
10 of 16 on her.
Romo. Castro. Venezuela with 10 to shoot. Venezuela turns the corner. Good drive. Tough move by Venezuela. She's looking for the contact. Didn't get the foul call, but you asked for aggressiveness, and she just gave it to you.
She can put that. She's a 3, but she can put the ball on the floor very well as Luda. So I don't see why not to do that. They need to continue doing that.
You see that last Zapata 3. And here, back to live action. Evangelista will cross half court. Hernandez is back on the floor. So now Zapata and Hernandez, 2 shooters on the floor for the Dominican Republic. Let's see how they attack offensively. Soto picks up the foul. She just checks in for the first time tonight.
Hernandez have a very offensive-minded. Every time she gets the ball, she's on a triple threat. She's going to attack. There she goes.
Hernandez didn't waste any time getting that shot up. It's missed. Good ball movement. Soto avoided the contact, but can't make the layup.
Mexico have 0 points in the fast break. Not 1 point.
Getting opportunities, though. That's a tough bank shot there by Evangelista. Pardo calls out a set. There's Soto. Drives in, now looks for help. Romo shows the up fake. Good hands there by Reynoso getting it to the ball. Body's hitting the deck. They will stay on this side. 2 on the shot clock for Mexico.
We got to give credit to that zone that DR is presenting. They are very aggressive, reading the passes, closing the gaps, closing the baseline.
It's been a physical game on the last 2 replays. You see both teams really hitting the floor hard. That's what it means to play for your country. That's what FIBA basketball is all about. Vela back into the game. She puts it up as the shot clock expires. Can't get it to go. Fraz comes back the other way. Hernandez hopping her way into the lane. Nice move. Hernandez. Eight-point lead for the DR. Castro splashes a 3.
She have 7.
That's her first 3-pointer of the day. Zapata. You hear the chance of defense from Team Mexico. 3 on the way, knocked down by Frias. Pardo right to the basket. Able to get the layup.
Good penetration.
Well, we knew the shooting percentages wouldn't stay in the 10th percentile.
It was going to get better eventually.
Starting to see some offense now here to close the first half. On sack, pulls up in the lane, in and out. Venezuela comes back the other way. No one stops the ball. Venezuela right to the basket. Lays it up and in, and a timeout for Dominican Republic. 8 points and counting for Jasmine Venezuela. She has her team down 4 with 2:46 remaining in the half.
Ella tiene la encomienda del 5. Usted tiene una chiquita, usted tiene el 6, usted tiene la que entró, que es la 8.
El 5 salió. Pero si yo cogí el 6. La 5 está de 4 ya.
Fue la 5 que metió el tiro de 3.
Está de 4. Está de 4.
Sí, pero tiene que coger una chiquita.
La tengo yo, la tengo
Es
yo.
una chiquita que se la está poniendo en coma para que no ponga la pelota en el piso.
Entonces, empezamos 3-2. Y la que esté del lado de la 5 la pega y las otras siguen en una zona. Bien ajustada. No importa la que sea.
Es para atacar lo que estamos haciendo. Cambiamos un poquito la tónica a 1-2-2. Quiero una trampa aquí a ver si funciona por una vez o 2. ¿Ok? La diseño en la punta. Cuando metan el pase aquí, si es con Michelle sostiene, ven.
Castro knocking down that 3-pointer. What was said in the message?
Teresa was telling the girls in the fast break, You don't look for your girl. Your girl is whoever is next to you. You gotta defend whoever is next to you. So they look into free now on the fast break. Just pick up the girl that is next to you and then communicate on defense. In the other hand, I think Mexico, it's gonna go on a 1-2, and they're gonna start trapping on the first pass.
See how that turns up for them on the next make. 23-19, Dominican in front over Mexico. Reynoso was left alone. That trapping defense didn't work that time as Reynoso was on the baseline with a gorgeous cut.
Opposite side, getting dropped. Excellent pass.
That's her first 2 of the night. 3 on the way. Pardo knocks it down. .205 remaining to play in the first half. Both these teams looking for their first win here at the Women's AmeriCup in Puerto Rico. Sack picked up her dribble, looked for Morton inside. She's spinning. Oh, what a pass! And Reynoso with the finish. Gorgeous look away feed by Morton. Castro looking for help. Finally finds in Venezuela. Reynoso comes up with the block there. Morton will push the other way. Cross-court pass. Zepata driving, floats in the lane and able to knock it down.
That was beautiful. She identified that the defense was not had enough balance. She decided to attack. That was a beautiful basket.
Vila, now Soto. Soto with a crossover. To Castro. The shot, and again she gets fouled. You called it. When she makes that move and decides to go to the basket, she's either scoring or getting fouled.
Because she's long, and she's the center, but she also jumps a lot. Usually the centers don't jump that much because they're so tall. They're used to, shoot that mid-range like it was a free throw. But in her case, she jumps. So the defense needs to jump with her. Her arms are really long. She's gonna get hit.
Right now, she's perfect from the foul line, keeping her team within striking distance. .58 seconds of play here in this first half. Castro with 9 points, 6 of them coming from the line. Frias back into the game for Dominican Republic. So is Evangelista. Sack driving inside, forcing it over the D. Soto pulls down the rebound. Here's Venezuela. Mexico play 2 for 1 here if they want to. Pardo thought about it, but she traveled. Seconds of play in the second quarter. Let's see how the Dominican Republic decide to attack here. They're going to try to use some clock and get a good look. And Sack will set the screen for Morton. Morton penetrating. Reynoso. Thought she got fouled. Next comes away to steal. We'll go 2-on-1 the other way. Pardo, nice move, avoiding the hand of Monsac. Morton gets it up just before the buzzer. Can't get it to fall. Falls her own miss. That won't count. And that's how we'll end the first half. Well, we started off slow, but we're starting to pick it up now. A 3-point game as we head into the locker room. Dominican Republic 29, Mexico 26. As we head to the locker room, we take a look at the Dominican Republic bench. You said they wanted to play fast. That's the pace that we saw to close the half. Is that something we can look forward to in the second half as we take a look at some of the numbers?
Yes, because definitely in the half-court game, they have nothing right now. So they need to fast the pace. They need to attack. Sometimes you just got to stop playing so organized. as I said, start playing street ball until you get the rhythm of the game, and then you make adjustments. But you need to get out of the system. If the system is not working, get out of the system. Start doing something different. Be fresh. I don't know how to say that in English, but just don't be afraid. Try to get rhythm. And that's exactly what Mexico did at the last time. On the other hand, Dominican Republic is moving the ball very well. And they're shooting not that well, but they have made more threes than Mexico have done. But their zone has been very effective.
Certainly has. Mexico has gotten to the line more than the Dominican Republic, and they've made them pay 8 for 8 from the free throw line. We'll leave you with the first half highlights from a game that started off slow but seems to be brewing into a good one. A 3-point game at the half. Dominican Republic 29, Mexico 26. Hispanic for three. Indeed. Marley is blocked by fouls. Gonzalez. Nice move. Oh, Gonzalez spinning 360 and able to kiss it off the glass. Canada wants to run. Edwards. Oh, tough layup.
Beautiful pass.
Patty tracks it down. Costa, three to shoot. At the buzzer is Myers. And a three knocked down by Tati Pacheco. Her first three of the night.
todavía. Hay que tirarlo, estamos bien.
Listo para comenzar el segundo tiempo.
Back we are here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. FIBA Women's AmeriCup 2019. First game of match day 2. Dominican Republic taking on Mexico. The DR have a 3-point lead. There is the huddle for Team Mexico. We've seen a struggle to score in the first 5 minutes of the game. The last 5 minutes of the half was much better offensively. And that is what we expect to play like. That's what we expect the game to play like here in the second half.
The Dominicans are going to stay on that zone. They're going to keep playing that zone in offensive. They're going to keep moving the ball. Hopefully for them, their average, it's going to go up. The percentage is going to go up a little bit more. In the case of Mexico, they got to find a way to get Avila into the offensive side of the game.
Both teams shooting just 32% from the field. Off we go here, the second half underway. 3-point lead for the Dominican Republic over Mexico. FIBA Women's AmeriCup here from Puerto Rico. That's a good sign. Pardo driving right to the basket, getting her first 2 of the second half, and we're already on a better pace to start this game, or the second half, than we were to start this game. Estrella for 3. That's off, and Venezuela comes down with the rebound. She'll push all the way, lost the ball, and Estrella's fouled by Estrada. Here's a Pardo roller. As you said, Mexico sitting back into that zone. Turnovers beginning to mount up for both teams. 12 for Mexico, 10 for the Dominican Republic. Zapata. Morton pulls up for 2. We haven't seen much offense from her, but coach has encouraged her to take shots. Estrella. Reynoso. Reynoso in the post. Good pass. Zapata for 3. In and out, and Castro pulls down the rebound. Pardo says, let's slow it down for a second. Estrada inside to Romo. She faces up, the double comes. Here's Estrada, back to Romo, pulls for 2. Hits the side of the backboard, gets her own, but she stepped out of bounds.
You can tell Romo doesn't have too much confidence in her mid-range shot. She rather attacks. But it would be very nice for them if she start making those, because she's always open.
Zapata. Estrada. Good feed inside. Zapata with a nice cut. We've seen her take 3s, but that's the first time we saw her get in the paint. Unsuccessful in that attempt, but that's a good sign for the Dominican Republic offense. Pardo spinning. Venezuela for 3. Hits the back iron. On sack, pulls down the flat-footed rebound. On sack now down the line. Good pass. Reynoso gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2.
3 against 2 in that fast break. You had to attack. Good ball movement.
There it is right there.
3 on 3.
Venezuela's charged with her first foul, and take a look at Reynoso at the line, who misses her first free throw. For 2 from the line on that trip for the DR. Hard screen set there by Luna Castro. Now she's on the ball as Morton jogs back into your picture. Pardo. Venezuela. Spinning in the lane. Nice layup attempt, but can't get it to go. And Morton back the other way. She doesn't have numbers, but she's going to attack anyway. Oh! Great strip by Pardo. Dominican Republic keep the ball. And that slapped out of bounds by Estrada. Dominican Republic bench wanted a foul off of that Morton drive. Morton still complaining to the referee, saying that she got my arm. That will allow some subs to come in both ends. Mosac will hit the bench. Caceres. Zapata for three, left it short. Romo ahead to Avila. Pardo, back to Avila. Late to arrive is Venezuela. They missed her. Now they find her in the lane. That's a good block by Reynoso. Reynoso looking for a guard now. Finds one. Coming across half. And Estrella. Now Estrella from the corner. Short again. Morton finally gets the foul call she's been asking for. Free throws on the way for Morton as we take a look at her hustle on the offensive glass.
Dominican Republic have not scored yet in this third quarter, so they started slow again, as they did on that first quarter.
And when Morton puts an end to that drought for the Dominican Republic, finally scoring here in the second half. Knocks down both free throws to restore the three-point lead. Hernandez into the game for Morton. Teresa Durant feeling maybe she needs a little offense, and Hernandez can certainly provide that. Broken play, Romo is open, and she lays it in. It's been sloppy on both ends, but we still have a one-point game. No one really able to take control of the game and run away with it. Estrella to Evangelista. She'll drive baseline and stepped out of bounds. It's good defense by Luna Castro.
She did close the baseline.
14th turnover. 14 turnovers rather for Mexico, 11 now for the Dominican Republic. They're beginning to pile up here in the game. Venezuela for two, no good. Hernandez puts it on the deck. Evangelista will lead the break. Pass inside, Reynoso's foul, and she'll go to the line for two. Venezuela probably took the worst of that hit.
She did.
That's her third foul, all of them coming here in the third quarter. Kim Taylor comes in.
Both coaches continue to doing substitutions to see if they can find a chemistry that will be consistent throughout the games, because both teams have very good moments, but they have not been consistent.
Reynoso's been consistent in one area, and that's rebounding.
Rebounding, she's very good at it. Very athletic.
Now has 5 points in the game. After going 0 for 2 from the free throw line, her first two attempts, she knocks down those last two to make up for it. Good trap here by the Dominican Republic to get a turnover. Jones, Evangelista. Reynoso is fouled, and she'll go back to the line.
That was a surprise press, full court press.
They got the turnover they were looking for.
They did, and they ended up on the free throw line.
Here it is right here. Before the Reynoso free throws, we'll have a timeout on the floor. Dominican Republic 33, Mexico 30. Halfway through the third quarter here in Puerto Rico.
Nosotros tenemos que jugar porque ellos están así, tenemos que jugar con dos paralelos aquí para empezar a jugar con eso. ¿Sí? Bueno, una vez que controlemos eso, tú vas a jugar entre la mitad de los dos jacks. ¿Ok? ¿ok? Y Dani juega de un lado y juega hacia el otro. Cuando nosotros vayamos allá y ellos aquí.
¿Qué pasa? Que Jennifer no hizo lo que tenía que hacer. Señores, hagan lo que tengan que hacer, que la bola la pongan para acá, ella vuelve. Lo que no podemos dejar que pongan la pelota para el aro, que la pongan donde queremos, donde que la queremos. Entonces,
Y negarle a la derecha.
dejen las esquinas libres para que ella entre y después la atrapamos. Vamos, vamos, hombre.
The legendary Teresa Duran, what was she saying in that huddle?
She has no filter. She'll say things just the way she thinks and how players think. She was just telling them that we don't want the ball to go in the middle of the. We want the ball to go to the side so we can trap, and the outside line will help us to the defense. We'll be another defender. But the way she expressed it, she's just very straight, no filter.
Sure, the players appreciate that playing for her. She's definitely a player's coach. She's been able to keep this team together for a very long time.
You know, some coaches will say, because you guys this, you guys that. She goes, no, you Zapata, it's your fault. You didn't do it. Reynoso, I saw you. You were not. No, don't tell me that. I saw you, and you did not do it. It was you.
Not even waiting for film session, doing it right in the middle of the game.
Right there.
Reynoso knocks down the second free throw, missed the first. It's a 4-point lead for the Dominican Republic. Taylor sets the screen for Avila, who's been quiet this afternoon. Pardo. And Castro gets free for three. Indeed, that's her shot. With a chance at defense from Mexican bench. Hernandez. Reynoso. Evangelista driving. Good ball movement. Zapata open for three. Indeed. 15 big points for Zapata. Castro can't handle that hot pass. Here we go the other way. Evangelista driving in. Floater. Got it. And the foul.
That was Mexico's 16th turnovers of the game, and Dominican Republic is taking advantage of all of the turnovers they're doing lately. That's the way to make them pay. Good movement of the ball. Jacqueline came off balance.
Certainly did. And Zapata made her pay the price. 8-point lead, the biggest lead of the game for the Dominican Republic, and that pressure again causing a turnover. Dangerous time here for Mexico.
Yeah, and they're having problem with the zone. They're having problem with the press. We have to remember this Mexico team played Canada yesterday. Their legs must be a little tired.
The Dominican Republic did not play yesterday, so they've had the ability to rest. Evangelista has her defender fall, and then the ball squirted out of her hands, and that's a double dribble.
It was.
Some at home saying, well, if that's a double dribble, it might have been a travel before that. She caught the ball and no one touched it. The refs are allowed to play on. Here it is on the replay. You just saw the back end of it. Evangelista put her hands up right away and said, it was my fault. Let's see if the Dominican Republic could get it right back. And Castro fires it above everybody. It was last touched by the DR. I'll stay here, 17 on the clock for Mexico.
And Mexico is doing exactly what the DR wants them to do. Dribble to the side, dribble to the line. That's a trap.
Morton comes into the game for Zapata. Inbound underneath the DR basket. In the Castro. Avila. They want to post in the Castro. Now Taylor sets the screen for Avila. Soto from the corner. That's a two. And she knocks it down.
She was effective yesterday as well. She's open. She's going to shoot it. She's good at it.
That's her first two tonight. 6-point game, and that was a basket that Mexico desperately needed. Morton on the drive. Good feed inside of Reynoso. Nine points and counting for Reynoso. And Castro thought about launching the three. Here's Soto. Avila. Taylor sets a screen. Now Avila tried to find her on the pass. The ball ricochets to Beltran. It's Avila with 5 on the shot clock. Avila down the lane. Tough shot. Able to get the floater.
Her first 2 of the game. It's not that she only have 2 points. It's that she only have tried to shoot twice. That's not typical of her.
Not at all. Shooting percentages coming back to life now for both teams. Inside the arc, you saw the percentages there. Beltran comes away with the pickpocket. She'll drive inside, gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2. Evangelista not allowing any layups.
She used her speed. She also used a little bit of her elbow to get the defense away.
Here's the last play by
That was a tough.
Avila.
That was a tough.
Real tough shot.
Mexico, it's perfect from the free throw line. 8-8.
Let's see if Beltran, who's at the line right now, can continue that. You know, if she misses, she's going to blame you.
I jinxed it. Jinxed it? That's how you say it?
Yes, you absolutely jinxed
I
it.
did.
She missed the first one.
Sorry, Mexico. There are some Dominican fans here. We have a big community.
Locally in San Juan?
Yes, in Santurce, which is in San Juan.
Well, they've made the trip here to the Roberto Clemente Coliseum, the cathedral of basketball, as I've been told to call it.
Yes, sir.
Beltran comes away with another steal. Avila, nice job crossing over. Now she drives in. Tough shot. 2 tough layups for Avila. And their team now down 3.
6-0 is a rally now.
Evangelista. One sack inside to Jones. Jones, that's a good move. Can't get the finish. Bodies hit the floor. A foul is called on Jones. Well, the Dominican looked as though they were going to run away with it just a few seconds ago. And now Mexico, as you said, working on a 6-0 run.
Mexico have been struggling throughout the game. If they could manage to have at least like 3 minutes consistent, it will be a whole different ball game.
Well, they're working on that 3 minutes right now. There's 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Beltran driving the lane. It's poked out of her hands by Monsac. They'll stay on that end. 19 on the shot clock. Matt Horn will allow some subs to check into the game. Pardo comes in. Zapata comes in. And Frias comes in for the Dominican Republic. Soto was open in the corner, and the pass was too late, and then it slapped out of her hands, hit her thigh, and it goes out of bounds. She was open for a second. She had to clap to get the attention of the inbounder, and the ball came late and ends up being a turnover. Pressure shown by Mexico now. On sack. Puts it on the deck. Morton for 3. Left it short. Last touch by Jones, and it will go the other way.
They always say that when you press, you pray for the team that you're pressing to take a long shot. That's exactly what happened. You don't want the offense to end with the layup.
Avila, that's a foul.
It is.
Zapata gets called for it. There's a lot of contact on that drive. Avila's still down. That will send her to the line for 2 free throws. The whistle came late, but it was the right call.
Yeah, it was the right call.
Avila will toe the line for 2 free throws. You asked her to take more shots. She's done so in the last couple of minutes.
Avila's homework yesterday was to defend Jamie Scott.
Yeah.
And Jamie had 5 threes, and she did a lot. So, you know, she must be feeling tiredness in her legs. She followed her everywhere.
Tried her best to contain the Canadian, but to no avail. And that free throw was evidence of that. Maybe a little bit tired in the legs. She didn't quite get it there and missed a second. It's part of playing in this AmeriCup. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
A lot of games in a short period of time. There's a foul on Beltran as Monsac hits the deck. That should be the penalty for Mexico, so it should be a shooting foul. And it is. Monsac will go to the line for 2 shots with 1:24 to play in the third.
The DR have participated in 7 America's championships since 1989. Then in 1997, 99, 2003, 2005, 2009, and 2013. The best they've done was in 89 and in 99, 6th place.
Trying to get a better spot at this year's edition with a lot of veterans on a team. Who knows what happens with a lot of these ladies on this team. They may not be around in 2 years to represent their country.
They do have a big community of Dominican players in New York. If they could eventually get them to play for the national team, that would be amazing. Not only in the men's team, because we talk about the men's team a lot, but also in the girls' team.
Zapata for 3. You're absolutely right about that. Could infuse some young blood to this Dominican Republic squad who don't want to call them old, but they've been around for a little while now.
Yes, they have.
6-point lead. They're trying to close out the third quarter on a good note. Zapata is the only one that's really knocking down 3-pointers. And they keep coming timely. Avila on the drive. Turnover. Morton with a nice crossover ahead. Frias.
Pretty.
And the foul. That all started by Morton with the gorgeous look ahead.
She don't shoot that much. Morton won't shoot that much, but she can pass the ball, especially in that fast break. I'm surprised that this team, both teams have not had more points in fast breaks because they are known for that. Of course, we've seen the zone for a reason on both sides. But that's one of the things Morton do best, is push the ball.
Jones with a great offensive rebound. Frias is fouled again, and she'll go back to the line. Soto this time picking up the foul. With a great offensive rebound by Jones, slipping inside and using her body to shield off 2 players from Mexico. Avila has a cut on her right knee, so she'll have to sub out to get that taken care of while we take a look at Jones's offensive rebound and pass to set up Frias.
A lot of blood today.
Yeah. A lot of bodies hitting the ground. Kim Taylor checks into the game.
Yeah. DR is shooting 50% from the free throw. 8 of 16. Not good.
That percentage is going to drop a little bit with that miss there. We were talking before this game started how important free throws are at any level. Soto from the corner. Can't get it to go. Beltran with the offensive rebound, and Mexico will hold for the last shot. About a 2-second differential between shot and game clock. Offensive foul on Romo. Good job there by Morton, not accepting the screen, trying to fight over top of it.
And he was right in front of the referee. Her 4th.
10 seconds of play here in the period. Dominican Republic with a 9-point lead. Trying to close this quarter on a high note. Zapata Her shot no good. Jones battling inside. Bodies hit the floor again. And that's how we'll end the third quarter. Dominican Republic 49, Mexico 40. 10 minutes to play here in this game. Joining on the conversation on social media with the hashtag AmeriCup Women. Follow at FIBA on all social media platforms. There you see the third quarter statistics. 9-point lead for the Dominican Republic. They finally got out in the break and finally were able to run a little bit more than they had been in the first half.
Dominican Republic is dominating Mexico on the rebound area, 35-27. Also in the fast break points, 10-3. Points in the paint, they're very close. 22 for DR, 20 for Mexico, and points from the bench. 18 points for DR and 14 for Mexico. That's a close statistic there.
Very much is. What does Mexico have to do to try and climb back into this game? We heard their coach talking about earlier on being patient on offense, but now you have 10 minutes to play. You got to figure out how to get some rhythm.
They kind of figure it out at the end, how to break that press that Dominican Republic was showing. You know, once you break that press, you need to be patient and then take the right, the right shot. Keep moving the ball, keep playing defense, keep reading what Dominican Republic will bring to you, and don't give them second opportunities on the board, because that's something we've seen. They also need to control the turnovers. They have 20. That's way too many. 10 minutes, they got to control the ball. They got to press too. They're down 9 points.
Fourth quarter underway here. FIBA Women's AmeriCup in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Dominican Republic up by 9 on Mexico. Dominican Republic in the home white. Mexico in the road black. Frias for 3 knocks it down. It's the first double-digit lead for the Dominican Republic here to start the fourth.
That's how you want to start a quarter. Beautiful 3.
Absolutely. Carlin Gay alongside Natalia Melendez. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Estrada's foul on her drive. Morton thinks she has a cramp. She's trying to walk it off. Hernandez will check in, which will allow Morton to get sorted on the bench. Hernandez has come off the bench with some instant offense. She's not afraid to put shots up at all.
She loves to shoot. She got some good moves too.
She picks up the foul there as she's trying to prevent Estrada from cutting to the basketball. That's her first foul. This time gets caught up in the screen and just bullies her way through Luna Castro. So 2 quick fouls for Hernandez. Loves to shoot, but I don't know if she loves picking up fouls. And that quickly.
That was fast.
Will get her out of the game. It's the first time we see Marte into the game. Chance of defense now coming from the Dominican bench and their supporters. And the Castro. Estrada blocked, great block. On Sack and Reynoso converting on that. Frias. On Sack, gorgeous look inside Reynoso. Hook shot is not there. Luna Castro will dribble back across the court. Aviles is aggressive in that third quarter. She is the bigger Monsac on her. They go inside. Luna Castro forcing her way in, gets her own miss. The second attempt not there. Romo taps it. It's last touch by Mexico and we'll go the other way. Dangerous time right now for Mexico as they're down 12. It seems as though the Dominican Republic are tightening the screws defensively. Here's Marte. Frias. She hit a 3 from that spot to start the quarter. Zapata lost control of the basketball. Well, win or lose for both teams, turnovers are something they're going to have to address moving forward.
15. DR has 15.
Avila spinning in the lane. Oh, what a move! Can't get the finish. Little pressure shown by Avila. Frias. Venezuela read that and came away with the steal. Avila inside Estrada. Back to Venezuela, who started the break with the steal. Gets rewarded with the layup.
Beautiful pass. Venezuela's been the most consistent offensive player for Mexico.
That bucket allowed Mexico to set up their trapping press. Reynoso driving inside, forced up a left-hand shot, can't get it to go. Monsac barreling in, touched it last, will go the other way. Jones coming in the game for Monsac. Good ball movement by Mexico, allowing Venezuela to come away with an easy layup. Ten-point game. Here you see the 5 on the floor for the Dominican Republic. Estrada. Now 5 on the floor for Mexico. Avila. Luna Castro driving inside. Soto for 2. Too strong. Estrada had a good box up but couldn't corral the ball. Evangelista back the other way. The bounce pass to Marte. Her first 2 of the evening. A foul away from the basketball on Marte as this Avila was trying to get loose to make a cut. That's already the 4th team foul for the Dominican Republic with 7 minutes to play. That is going to be a huge call going forward, and here's Marte on that layup.
When you have not scored and you go like that on a fast break, you run as fast as you can because you want to get that ball and make the layup.
Avila, and there's another foul, and that is the 5th team foul, penalty the rest of the way. So Mexico in a good position here to try to chip away at the lead with the clock stopped.
Mexico just found a way to make offense. It will be from the free throw line. Good news for them.
They've made Dominican Republic pay 83% from a free throw line. Now it's my turn to jinx. Yeah.
Yes.
I noticed you stayed quiet that time.
Well, I was looking at you to see what were you going to say.
Avila knocks it down. There was a little early entry, but the basket is good. The press set up for Mexico. Jones and Marte play hot potato with it. Now Evangelista pulls it out. And they'll run a play. Avila gets a switch on Evangelista. Foul on the drive. It's going to be on Pardo. Their second foul. Foul allows now Mexico to go back into their zone. Jones, that was a good catch and a pass to Marte. Can't get it to go, and over the back goes Reynoso. And that is a tough foul to make away from your basket, and it will send Luna Castro to the line for 2 free throws.
She did a good job doing that box out against Reynoso. There's no way to get a rebound over Reynoso. You got to box her out. That's what she did. She had 9 rebounds.
She played terrific on both the offensive and defensive play.
The thing is, we hardly seen her, you know, in the offense. But when you look at the numbers, that's who Jacqueline Luna is. You already have 11 and 9.
Make that a double-double after makes that first free throw. Well, they've struggled to get offense. They found a way to get to the foul line. Now they've got to make some stops on the defensive end. Tough move by Morton will send her to the line for 2 free throws. That's the first time we've seen her drive aggressively for her own look. Normally she drives to pass.
I have to tell you, Morton have had a lot of probable injuries. Ankles and knees. She used to be a very explosive point guard. Now she's more like an organized type of point guards, and sometimes, you know, injuries get to you in the game. You kind of like take it easy a little bit.
She missed the first free throw. Wasn't taking it easy at all on that last drive.
No.
She went crashing in. Missed both free throws. Mexico dodging one there.
In the last central basket, she averaged 13 points per game.
Pardo missed the opportunity there. You mentioned she averaged 13 at that last central basket. She
13,
only has
4 and 4.
2 points right now, but doing it in other ways. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal.
That's good.
Luna Castro for 3. And a foul! Big time shot for Luna Castro, and she'll try to complete the 4-point play.
The Grand Slam. That's her second three-pointer of the game. Yeah.
It's definitely a 3. Definitely got hit. Now the important free throw is missed, and Jones pulls it down. 6 minutes to play here in the game. Mexico hanging around. Evangelista driving right to the tin, was fouled. She couldn't complete the layup. Luna Castro put her hand up and said, "It was on me." Send Evangelista to the line. That's the second foul on Jacqueline Luna Castro. Free throw knocked down for Evangelista, and that's first point in a few minutes for the Dominican Republic. Perfect from the line on that trip. Pressure now shown. Luna Castro looking for help. Finds it in Avila. Avila looking to break the press by herself, and she does. To the corner, Pardo for 3. In and out, tapped out by Soto. Oh, Beltran goes slamming into the board, risking it all to save the basketball. My goodness. And she's still down.
That was tough.
I mean, talk about laying it all on the line. With all concern now for her health, as she is yet to stand up. Here's the replay.
Oh.
Right on that right shoulder.
On her head, too. There you go. When you hit the head, it's always dangerous. So.
We'll take every precaution we need here and all the time in the world to make sure she's okay. Paola Beltran, only 25 years of age, playing for her national team. It's a good sign she's able to move her limbs.
Paramedics are here.
And this is smart by everyone involved. Don't take any chances. as the stretcher is out, and Beltran will get carried off the floor here with the experts in the medical field. Try to keep you posted on any update we get from Team Mexico on her status as the day goes along. I know there's a huddle for both teams right now. They're kind of using this as a timeout, but it's tough to think about basketball when you see something like that.
Exactly. Good thing it's that we know she's going to be taken care of.
No question, and they didn't waste time.
It was
got
fast.
there right away.
They were here. They'll probably take her to the hospital, do the x-ray and everything. And hopefully she'll be fine. And it was not a contact with another player. She was just going for the ball, for a loose ball.
Yeah, she was diving to try and save the ball from going out of bounds and went crashing into the signage. And that signage is there. It's very secure. It's not, it'd be the same thing as going crashing into a wall pretty much. But as we said, the medical staff is here. They'll take her away, and they got here rather quickly. And she's going to be stretchered off as those who are here giving her a round of applause.
Those are things you don't want to see happening, but in sports, they do happen. And the thing is to be ready for, you know, for when it happens.
Unfortunately, injuries do happen in sports. As we take a look at Pardo's that last layup. Luna Castro knocking down the two. Well, back to live action here. Mexico down by 8. 5:30 to play. Avila gets fouled. She'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Zapata picks up the foul.
I will have 6 points, 2 of 4 so far, 50% from the field goal. And she's now 3 of 5 from the free throw.
Notice I'm staying quiet on this one. Reynoso pulls down the rebound. We're gonna have to stop doing that. Get a lot of fans upset at us. Zapata. Reynoso down the lane. The layup is there. Great cut by Reynoso.
Her points 10 and 11.
She's having a big night offensively and also on the glass. 8 rebounds and counting for her to go along with her 11 points. Pardo, Luna Castro called for it with Zapata on her back. She shoots over top of her. It's not there. Little rebound by Venezuela, who sat out for a little bit with an arm injury. It's good to see she's back on the floor. Pardo on the drive. Pardo, tough layup, can't get it to go, and Reynoso picks up her 9th board. Morton lost control of the basketball. Avila spinning. Soto, layup, can't get it to go, and Jones vacuums it in. It's just been that type of night for Mexico, and Soto picks up a foul. That's the 3rd on Soto, 14th foul for Mexico. Monsac comes back into the game right there. Jones getting the high fives from her team as she leaves. Danger zone time now for Mexico. They need stops, and they need them quickly. Evangelista. Monsac. Morton, good ball movement for Zapata for 3. Can't get it to go. Reynoso missed the point-blank layup. And Soto comes back the other way. Pardo, Luna Castro. Avila. Pardo rejects the screen. Avila driving the lane to the corner. Pardo just stepped out of bounds. Was trying to save it, but she couldn't do it.
It was a good try, but it was outside, but it was a good pass, though. She was open.
Pressure broken by the Dominican Republic. And Zapata. Now to Morton, inside Monsac. Monsac shows the up fake, but she traveled. And Mexico getting the stops that they need. Now they have to put the ball in the basket.
You're right about that.
18 turnovers for the Dominican Republic, 21 for Mexico.
It's a lot of mistakes.
Here's the last travel. Dragging that pivot foot on the drive. Avila. Soto goes behind the back. That's good defense. Body hitting the floor. 5 to shoot for Mexico. Venezuela driving down the lane, forces it up. Is looking for the foul call, nothing coming. And Evangelista back the other way. She penetrates, and Morton pulling it back out with under 3 to play.
Smart.
Evangelista for 3. Indeed! Big time shot for her 10th point. Avila can't get the layup. Venezuela. Luna Castro tries to answer with a 3 of her own. That fell on the front rim. Soto for 2. That's no good. Monsac pulls down the rebound. She has to hit the deck and wrestles it away from 3 Mexican players. They toss it ahead. Soto on the ground. Bodies everywhere. Play on. Estrada foul before the shot, but she'll go to the line for 2.
The intensity of that last play. You gotta love FIBA.
You have to.
You have to love FIBA.
Evangelista picks up the foul. Here's that last 3 from Evangelista from the corner. Nothing but nylon. Timeout on the floor. 2:19 to play in the game. Dominican Republic in control, 61-49.
Si ella mete la pelota, van a presionar.
Sí. Cámbiese a la pelota.
Mano, dejen que ella haga su movimiento. Dale, sigan con seguridad, mija. Usted va aquí. Usted sabe que si la bola entró ahí, usted entra.
Al medio.
Y la jugadora que va a pasar la pelota con seguridad. Vamos. No podemos bajar la guardia en la defensa.
La tenemos ahí.
No importa lo que pase, la defensa es que no podemos bajar la guardia.
2 minutos duros, ¿eh? 2 minutos duros.
La posesión es larga, muchachos. La pelota es segura. La posesión es larga.
Entonces, tengo a Marlen y a Monsac. La Morton, Julie y Gené.
There you see the team leaders on the bottom of your screen for Mexico as they go through their last second preparation coming out of that huddle. What did they say in that Dominican Republic huddle that Teresa Duran had you laughing about.
She said, just be ready. After, you know, if they made a basket, they will press you. They will press you. Don't let them handle you. Be strong and don't hesitate. You know, you need to look that you're secure when you're going to pass the ball.
So after the timeout, Estrada at the line for 2. Knocks down the first. Just want to make it a 10-point game and keep it within striking distance. Evangelista pulls down the rebound. Ceres finds Monsac. And Evangelista says, hey, slow it down. Let's run some offense and some clock. Evangelista thought about the 3. She pulls up for 2 instead. Indeed! She's hitting some big-time shots here in the fourth quarter. 12 points for her.
By swinging the ball, they're making offense, moving the ball.
Morton again will pull it back out.
Monsac is so smart.
Evangelista. Zapata. Ceres. Morton. 5 to shoot. Zapata. Foul line knocks it down. And the Dominican Republic pouring it on here late in the game. 20. Asiero into the game for Mexico. 11 in black. Venezuela driving. She's fouled and will take a hard fall. Get back up off the floor. Monsac picks up her second foul.
She only have 2 points in the game, but she have 9 rebounds. 3 offensive rebounds.
With a big steal just moments ago. A set up. And Evangelista 2-point jump shot that knocked it down. First free throw there by Venezuela is no good. And after shooting, going 8. From the foul line, and that has led to a 15-point deficit for them. 0 for 2 on that trip for Venezuela. In this game, Zapata, Monsac. Monsac hard on the ground, can't get it to go. Soto pulls down the rebound. Evangelista trying to get back in defense in time, but a good move there by Avila. Pressure still shown. Mexico trying to reduce this deficit. Plus minus means so much in tournaments like this. Evangelista slowing it down again. 30 seconds to play in the game. Poking at the ball. Evangelista now driving. Floater. Can't get it to go. Soto with a rebound and turn over to Zapata. Evangelista won't shoot. Won't sack. Another steal for Morton. Lay it up. She thought she got fouled. No call coming. Estrada will launch after the buzzer. Wouldn't have counted, but the Dominican Republic pick up their first win here at the FIBA Basketball AmeriCup 2019. High fives all around. 67-52 DR over Mexico.
They are very happy. We have to remember last time these two faced each other, Mexico won the game.
Very happy Dominican Republic team will meet at center court, celebrate a little bit. What did you like most from what?
To win this game, they really wanted it, and you could tell. They were not making the basket, but they kept moving the ball. They kept focused. I love what they did on the boards. between Monsac and Reynoso. And we gotta very important buckets when the minutes count.
There you see the statistics from the game. Shooting percentages low for both teams, but they were able to get it done in the end. 50% from the foul line. Dominican Republic will obviously look to improve that. Mexico started off 8 for 8 from the foul line and closed the game just 15 of 23. Out-rebounded were Team Mexico, again for the second game in a row. They're off tomorrow. They do not play tomorrow.
Okay.
They get an opportunity to rest before Wednesday against Cuba, and that's going to be a game where they have to win. They've played now 2 games. They've lost both.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately for them, they never found comfortable ground on offense. They didn't look comfortable. They relied too much on Venezuela and Luna. A third voice was needed. We're seeing they're the game leaders, Venezuela and Castro. That was what we see the most of them, those 2 players.
A game high 20 points for Zapata, led the way with 16 for Mexico. Up next for the Dominican Republic, they take on Cuba. Mexico will have but they take on Cuba themselves on Wednesday. That's game 1 here of 4. Dominican Republic coming away with a big win, 67-52 over Mexico. We'll leave you with the highlights from this game for Italian.